So my assignment was to choose from the Times Magazine 100 most influential people. We had the 2021 and the 2022 year to choose from. Out of all the people that we got to choose from, I was able to basically go through a very wide variety of people from all different walks of life. The person that I chose is someone that actually specifically impacts me, that I thought was one of the most influential people. If I were to ask you guys, who would you think of if I say one of the most powerful people in the state of Florida? What name would you probably throw out? So I chose our current governor, Ron DeSantis. He's been the governor since 2019. Um, he's been a large impact on our communities, our neighbor communities, and how we basically move on our everyday lives. He's been a part of decisions that directly impact certain things like our schools, our environment, and how we experience COVID. Considering the many contributions Governor DeSantis has made reality, we as Floridians and residents of Florida have benefited greatly from his decisions and actions. So basically, I'll just go over some things of why Floridians are proud to be here and proud residents of Florida. One of the things that he's contributed to is our environment. Him and his administration had a goal of $1.2 billion to contribute to the Everglades and the protection and restoration of our waterways. They completely surpassed that and made it to $3.3 billion. Obviously, water is a main or very big deal in our lives. It's how we basically proceed through our regular routines. Another thing that he's affected over time, him and his administration, were the school system. They were contributing and part of $19 million to improve financial assistance for foster families. Fortunate enough, we have people that are able to foster children, and the $19 million goes to basically the food, clothing, school supplies, things that help these families, the fostering families, to ensure that these children are having the appropriate necessities that they need to have a successful school year. He signed laws basically contributing to teachers from inappropriately discussing things such as race, sexual orientation, and making sure that the curriculum that they receive is based simply on their grades and appropriate for what they're supposed to be learning at the time. Another thing that he has influenced is the time that we spent COVID and how we spent COVID. Unfortunately, when COVID was a widespread infectious thing that we've experienced, he made sure that while other states were closing down for a long period of time, when he had the chance to, that he made it to where our businesses, the way we feed our families, they were opened up as soon as possible. Another thing is our kids in the schools. He made sure that it wasn't a mandate for them to have face masks on, or us as adults, he made sure that it wasn't a mandate for us to take the vaccine if that's not something that we chose to do. A quote here, it came from an article with Brandon Hogan as the editor from News 6. He's a published editor. According to Ron DeSantis, as long as I sit in the chair in which I sit, no Floridian will be restricted, mandated, or locked down in any way possible. That's basically just his way of saying that he wanted Florida to basically move in routine, move in the way that they did before COVID as soon as possible. He wanted to make sure that we weren't restricted from things that we were comfortable with, how we're able to provide an income from our families, and that we're able to move about as we did before COVID. Another thing that he's contributed to, him and his administration, was the funding for DCF. For the 2021-2022 budget, obviously DCF, they have their hard times, and without the necessary resources to help our children and our families, they are limited from resources if they don't have the correct budgeting and funding, and he has contributed to that. He's helped with $158.4 million statewide for the opiate response grant, obviously along with mental health and the drug usage that is circulating not just in Florida but everywhere. He has contributed to helping assistance for that. As a resident of the state of Florida, I am currently in law enforcement, and he's also been a strong supporter of law enforcement and making sure that Florida did not defund law enforcement and the police system as other states have. In conclusion, I feel like the governor that we currently have, Ron DeSantis, has been an influence not just here in the state of Florida, but an influence and shows what a governor should be for other states surrounding us. And he has been a large impact on myself and people that I know personally in our neighboring communities. Thank you.